Hey everybody, it's Sandra Dee. I want to bring you something special today. We have sitting next to me my good friend, my BFF, I'm so lucky to call her that, Jan Goss Gibson. She's the founder of Show Up Well, and I said so many other things. She's authored so many wonderful books, and she has been my go-to, my mentor at times, and my good wine drinking buddy.
Wait, that works both ways on the mentoring and the wine drinking buddy.
And Baby B mentors both.
Oh, yes,
so this is
exactly.
Baby B.
Yes.
Look at the camera.
Say hello.
We're training her for camera.
Yes,
there we
exactly.
go.
Hello. All right.
So today I want to talk to you with Jan here because our month is all about being intentional.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I was super excited when Jan told me about her newest book that's coming out, and the title is, it's a little.
Are you ready?
Hang on.
Are
Yeah,
you ready?
Get ready.
So
wait
take
for
a
it,
deep
wait for
breath.
it.
Take a deep breath.
Her
All
new
right.
book is
Bedroom Etiquette: How to Show Up Well Behind Closed Doors.
Did we just go there? Oh, yes.
Yes, we did.
We just went there.
It's important.
Yeah. So I want to remind you that we're looking at this from a very sacred place. So this is what I said. I called her up and I said, we're talking about being intentional and how many different areas of our life are we not as intentional as we could be? You know, really, I started thinking in marriage and relationships as one of those places because you fall into routine.
Yes. We get too familiar.
We
right?
really do.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times that shows up in the bedroom, in our sacred places. And so what I would love to learn from you today, Jen, for you to share with us, what does being intentional in a marriage, what does that look like to you?
Great question. You know, Sandra Dee, it looks like the same thing that it looks like in any other aspect. And I really want to talk about it concerning like business. And then I'm going to flip it over to the bedroom.
Yeah.
It's kind of like from the boardroom to the bedroom. The same things work, right?
Yeah.
So think about if you want to attract your ideal client and you want to make this best impression on your favorite client. You want to go after this particular group of people and serve them well with your products and services. You're going to be intentional about it.
Yeah, you're wooing them.
Yes, exactly. So what I've done in Bedroom Etiquette is I've taken those principles and applied them to the bedroom.
That makes sense.
Because you said it. What happens is we get a little bit too familiar.
It sounds so funny to say that when you say you get too familiar because you're married to the person.
Right, exactly.
Nobody is going to be more familiar to you than that
Exactly.
person. But I think it's a sense of being, you kind of take for granted that they're always going to be there. And you and I were just discussing all the things that were going on in the news and how many, we were completely distracted today because of some of the fires that are going on in California as we're recording this, and that life can change in an instant, and it's not going to take anybody for granted or any situation or anything for granted. That said, we do.
Right. And so
we get into ruts and things. And so show me how you are intentional in your marriage.
Okay. One of the first things that I had to do was be intentional to put my husband first. Did y'all hear that? Like, to put my spouse absolutely first, because we have children, we have grandchildren, we have a bunch of everybody around here. And what happens is I get wrapped up with other people, and I really was letting him kind of go on the back burner. So I wrote this down in my journal. Like, I intentionally said, here is my intention. I am putting Rick number one. I'm going to think about his needs first. I'm going to think about what he's gone through that day first. And intentionally, I began to put him first. And can I tell you, ooh la la, it works really, really well in a relationship.
It's a good shift. Was there a
great shift? Yes. And I was the one that changed.
Well, I think that people also, it's not just kids. I think that for men and women, business can get in the way.
I'll raise two hands on that one because I love to work. I
know that we're guilty of that.
Exactly.
Yeah. And a lot of women that we're around, I think, can identify with that as well as men. So that's one way to be intentional. And I want you to share a little tip, because we don't have a lot of time. I want to keep it kind of short and sweet here today, but I do want to have you give a little tip from your book. Are you guys ready? I don't know exactly where we're going with this.
It's good.
But give us a little secret from your book. Give us one of the tips that's in the chapters, because the chapters are entitled they have such great names. And I've had a sneak peek at the book, I'm going to be honest. It's really good. It's so good.
Thank you for that. So we actually begin in the book looking at what is a bedroom. What is it? It's like a room with a bed, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And it's like 4 walls and a ceiling and a floor. So we look at what is a bedroom, and then we dive into creating what I call a sacred space.
That's my favorite phrase. Yeah.
And so when you walk into your bedroom, how does it make you feel? And if you'll look at tapping into all 5 senses.
Oh.
In your bedroom, make sure that something is there to tap into all 5 senses.
So you mentioned smell, because people are like, candles, right? Or potpourri or something.
Or you can use linen spray. There's some great linen sprays.
Yeah.
Just make sure it doesn't smell like dirty socks when you walk into your bedroom. That is not a very inviting.
Or wet dog.
Yes,
in the case of mine today.
Yes.
Which is really nice.
Yes, exactly.
So nice.
I mean, life happens, so we have to do this intentionally. That's the word,
intentionally create that sacred space.
It's true.
Take
it has
the wet
to be
dog
intentional. Right. And
but other than that, there's visual, which I'm very visual.
Yes.
You were like, I'm loving how your house looks. We're in Jan's house. It's beautiful. I mean, I just love looking at that. I mean, your whole place has that very intentional look to it, which is fantastic. But if somebody says, well, I don't have the ability to redecorate, how do you create that sacred space?
Well, great question. So one of the things that I suggest is go on Pinterest or look at magazines or find things that appeal to you, and then recreate it on your budget.
Yes.
Whatever your budget is. Like if you like a specific color, go with the colors that make you feel so happy.
And lighting, right?
Yes.
Lighting is huge.
Lamps. You know, there's really no excuse, because Sandra Dee, when I was the poorest of poor, and I've been there. There were times when, you know, maybe I have to go and buy a $5 lamp, but I would find the deals. That's the cool thing about being poor.
I think it's kind of
you learn how to find the deals.
Yeah.
And to this day, I love it. I love to find a deal, but you can find what is meaningful to you and your spouse to create a sacred space.
Yes. And that's a good idea. I think you even said in the book, what does your spouse want? What makes them feel comfortable?
Yes, exactly.
Because I may see something in a magazine and
pink and fluffy and all that.
Yeah. I mean, and I did. I love, Ellen had to compromise.
Oh, she's going to tell on herself now.
I am. I love throw pillows. Any ladies going to get where I'm going with this? Yeah. I love pillows. So Alan has a rule. I'm allowed to have pillows, even fluffy ones, but I can't go past the 50-yard line, he calls it.
On the bed.
Can't be more than 50%.
That's a great rule.
Yes. So we work together on that. But it's like, what does he need? And he needs to have a rather masculine chair. So I couldn't do everything all fluffy and white, but I had to give him his space where he can sit and watch his TV, and but that's
our
part of
sacred space where we end our day.
Speaking of TV, you also said a suggestion to keep the
anything
technology out of the bedroom. You said get rid of the cell phones from the bedroom.
You can store them even in the bathroom. You know, you can plug them in the bathroom. There are so many reasons. There's science behind it. There's energy issues around it. And it's just the distraction of it.
Yeah.
When you're with your spouse, be intentionally in that space. Be with them. When you get a chance to be with them. I heard a story from a friend whose husband almost died. Like she almost lost him, like right in front of her. He had a heart attack. And thank God he recovered from that. And she said from that day on, every morning when they get up and get out of bed, they stand up and intentionally hold on to each other and give each other a hug. And every night before they go to bed, they stand up and intentionally hold on to each other. Wow. Can you imagine what that would do for your marriage? To just be grateful for that person that you chose and who chose you.
Let's not wait until you almost lose your spouse before you do that.
Exactly. So that's the power of intention.
Yes. There you go. So thank you for the tips. And your book, tell me when the book's available and how the book's available.
Okay. The book is coming out in December, just a couple of weeks down the road. It's coming out. But you can actually go to showupwell.com and pre-order and be one of the first. Now, it's coming out as an ebook first. So
it's beautiful.
Go there and download or sign up, and you will be one of the very, very first ones to get your copy. We released it yesterday and for pre-sale, and we've already had people coming saying, I want that book.
But that's because they probably read some of your other books.
Maybe so.
I mean, how many have you done at this point?
But I haven't done any on the bedroom.
No. It's been all business oriented and scripture related as well. You have some beautiful spiritual based books as well.
And this is as well. So this is coming from a scriptural basis, and it is really designed for Christian couples. Doesn't mean that everybody can't benefit, because I have already had reports back from pre-readers who read it, like you did, who from a single woman who said, oh my gosh, please get this in the hands of every single woman. She said it took all the fear out of everything for me.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So
and I think knowing even before you get married what it should be be awesome to give to. It's a great gift to give to someone. So, so thank you, Jan Goss Gibson, for being here and sharing your home with us. And thanks you guys for watching. And go out there and be intentional. All right.
Absolutely, be intentional in the bedroom. All right, bye for now.